Hi, Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with another unboxing video in the Jethro Tull Super Deluxe Edition series, and this is episode 3 and we're going to be looking at Benefit. Now this one appeared first of all in this format, which you'll see when I do the unboxing, because I will show you that briefly, and I felt it was almost in a way a bit similar to when they did Stand Up, which you've also just seen. That they weren't quite sure whether this format of box set was going to make it or not, or how popular it was, or they maybe only do specific releases. And the key ones, obviously, they'd already done a massive Aqualung set, and maybe they were just wondering whether or not this was going to fly or not. It flew. This is, for me, as I'll say so many times in this series, the ultimate format for reissues. I'll keep saying that in case other labels suddenly stumble across me and this and think, do you know what? Although, you could say, is it too late? It's never too late, is it? Because that's the thing, whether us as music fans and collectors are a little bit OCD. Because in a way, many people, and they must have worked this out when they decided that this was going to come out in this format, I'd already bought the previous one, or even the previous CD, or even had it on vinyl. Well, let's have a look inside and see what you get. I never bought this on vinyl. It wasn't one of my favourite Jethro Tull albums. I know a lot of people, Tull fans, it is, but it wasn't for me. And this is the 2001 CD remaster, which was the first one I bought. I'm not sure whether Ian is a big fan of this either. The booklet was very sparse. There were 4 extra tracks. The essay was in large font and not a lot to shout about, because obviously the next one was all going to be about Aqualung. However, just like with the last segment of Stand Up, they weren't sure about the format they were going to do for the Jethro Tull Deluxe editions. Even though they'd already produced some of these hardback books editions, for Benefit they decided to follow the stand-up fold-out one, which had the fold-out panels, as you can see here. There were 3 discs, 2 CDs and a DVD, and this time the booklet was substantial, and the font was a lot smaller, so a lot more research had gone into this. But the thing is that when this came out, the kind of background noise asking, please could we have a version of Benefit in the hardback book format that we'd seen with all the other Jethro Tull Deluxe editions, just gathered a pace. And it was only a matter of time before that was going to be what was going to happen. And it did. And this is one you can find for a very, very reasonable price indeed. So, this is well worth getting. And what do you get with this? The 1970 album. The original album, Stephen Wilson's stereo mix, remix, associated recordings, of which there are many. Disc 2, associated recordings continued. Absolutely tons of stuff, stereo single remixes, compilation album remixes. So many tracks here, to talk about really. Disc 3, live at Tanglewood 1970, live at Chicago 1970 on Disc 4. DVD is the audio, is the 5.1 mix, 5 extra tracks, sorry, and 5.1 mix, and DVD 2, the 1970 Tanglewood concert on video as well in 5.1. But it really is, again, superb. There's a lot of discs in this one. As I said, you've got a lot more discs in this. But just like, as I'll talk about all of them, the attention to detail, the almost train spotter OCD attention to detail. Imagine whoever researched this was not told you've got till the end of tomorrow. They were told, go away and do the best job you can possibly do. Now, if someone behind the scenes said, actually, we were told we'd only got a week to do it, well, it doesn't come across like that. Because I can sit down with this And I know I'm going to repeat myself as I go through all of these sets, but if you want to immerse yourself in an album, I can't think of any other artist that has created something like this for their fans, and not just fans of the band who were there at the beginning, but people who've just discovered them. Imagine discovering a new band and you've got this level of information to dive into. You might say, well, you won't. A new person, you just want the music. But after a time, no matter if you've just got the music, you want to know more. We've got Stephen Wilson talking about mixing Benefit, and obviously he's mixing from 8-track, etc., the limitations. And then again, you've got the managers involved with just everything you could possibly think of. And it's here. It really is. You know, absolutely fantastic interviews, postscript. You know, it's just amazing. This is from 2020 when this was issued. Joshua White Show, Fillmore East, Tanglewood to Woodstock, everything you'd want to know about, everything that's included. You know, the up-to-date interviews, and then of course the chronological order of all the gigs associated with this tour. And then at the back you've got the slip sleeve with the discs in. But just look, you've got, you know, I just can't help it. Can you? 5 discs, absolutely superb. That's Benefit, and just fantastic. So Benefit Super Deluxe Edition, as I said, not one of my favourite Jethro Tull albums. Some of my close friends swear by this as one of the best from 1970. It's always been a dark and kind of bleak album to me, and I think some of Ian Anderson's comments suggest such a thing as well. But this, you can't have these without this in it. It is a great set. You know, absolutely superb booklet, as you just saw, and great packaging and great content. So there you go. But the next album was the big one, wasn't it? And that was, of course, Aqualung, which we're going to look at next time. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and please subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you to Chris, Clive and Yogi and all my patrons for all your support that you give me. Thank you for all your comments and your feedback so far on this series. It's been absolutely superb. And remember, boys and girls, that music is the doctor and the healer, and it brings us together in this almost global neighbourhood of music fans as we discuss the music that we grew up with, but also music we've just discovered, because I know some of you out here are just finding out about Jethro Tull. What a journey you are on. So thank you very much again, and I shall see you on my next video.